Thank you for coming at such short notice. Despite the situation, our commander will always be Alpha. From now on, we'll carry out the mission on his behalf. Affirmative.
Chapter 3, The Ultimate 11.
The entrance to the stadium's been blocked off.
It's because of the football ban, because we couldn't put history right.
There aren't many of us left on the team since Sam and the others walked out. Will we be enough? We'll have to be. There's no one else.
This really is terrible. I hate to think how Mark would have felt if he'd been around to have seen this. It's like an insult to his memory.
Memory? What do you mean, Miss Hills? Yes, what do you mean?
What do you mean, what do I mean? You all went to the funeral.
What? You're kidding, right? How did Coach Evans...
You can't have forgotten. He was in a traffic accident on the day of the Japan vs USA International Friendly last month.
Now you really are joking. Coach Evans is alive.
Mark's alive?
Yes, he is.
Did someone change history again? No, this is different.
Oh no, are we still not back on the real timeline?
Miss Hills, you do know us, right?
I do. You're Faye, and that's Wonderbot. You came from the future.
She remembers. So that means only Coach Evans' history has been changed.
Fascinating! The timeline is maintaining its historical coherence by having Coach Evans perish.
Historical coherence? Sorry, but you've lost me again, mate.
But Mark is alive, right? That's good to hear.
I'm afraid we can't say for sure. If we leave things as they are, this altered history will settle in and become the real history. So then, Coach Evans really will be dead? Yes, and once history has been changed, it's extremely difficult to change it again. Oh no. So we only have one option to undo all this. Defeat Protocol Omega as soon as possible. That's right. To do that we need to armorify, and we have to do it through our own strength, not with the help of a resonance phenomenon. I'm repeating myself, but the only way to armorify our fighting spirits is to raise our own powers. Then we'll be ready.
Okay, I'm gonna train, and I'll learn how to armorify, and then we'll beat Protocol Omega 2.0.
I will practice too, and we'll save Coach Evans and get Sam and the others back to normal.
Well, I'm not too good with all this stuff, but we just need to be strong enough to armorify, yeah? If Arian can do it, I bet I can too.
Yes, but first we have to find a place to do some training. With this football ban, we won't be able to use Riverside or the park.
This is frustrating indeed. We're all fired up with nowhere to go.
Eh? What's this? It's a message from Axel Blaze.
Coach Blaze? Really? You mean the Axel Blaze, the legendary striker who helped Mark Evans lead Ryman to victory?
Yep, that's the one. I wonder if he'll be willing to help us. I wonder, but he probably won't be aware of the current situation. At the very worst, he could hate football too.
No way. I can't believe that Coach Evans would ever hate football like he did in the last game.
Let's go and see if he can help. I wasn't with you in the other timeline, and I can still grasp what's happening. Maybe he can too.
Yes, but Miss Hills, you've already met us once and experienced a change in history, so it may have been easier for you to accept the truth. But Mr. Blaze has been living in a separate history to us. It may be difficult to explain things to him.
In any case, mooching around here worrying about things isn't helping anything. Let's go to the tower to meet Coach Blaze.
That we will do. Well, sort of. In order to get to the tower, you must first head to the shopping area. And that, by the way, is the canonical use of Inner Link within the story. We get to see Axel Blaze's icon now that he seems to have a new hairstyle compared to when he was the Holy Emperor. But we will head to the shopping area first and have a quick look around. The Inner Link is also giving us a slight updates there, saying that they're now going to introduce Inner Pics, which are just going to be like little pictures, little emotes that are going to start appearing in conversations and make things even better than they already were. And speaking of getting even better, because we've only got 5 players plus the managers right now and Wonderbot, we get even more messages from Roma in all caps in the Inner Link, and it just makes me funny to... It makes me laugh to see more and more all caps from Roma, who's just desperate to go meet the chief, Kevin Dragonfly, in the past. So what I'm actually gonna do, excuse me, before we head to the tower itself, I want to explore more of the shopping area now that it's accessible to us, because previously when we went here chasing after Victor and had Vladimir with us, we couldn't explore the upper part. But now, if you go in this G-Mart, you can actually see Sam's mum here, talking about how her son's not very happy because he's been brainwashed into disliking football. I don't know why they took away her icon and also the photo opportunity of this pig. All of that is getting taken away from us in this area. Unfortunately, they take away even more from us in this area, which is very sad to say, but previously on the left-hand side, this was Rai Rai Noodles, where we could go by and see Archer Hawkins and even buy a few items from him. But that's gone in the current story, and I'm not sure why that is. So we can't go and see Archer Hawkins, we can't buy his items. The Rai Rai Noodles logo might not even be there as far as we can see. But, you know, hopefully pretend it's here. There is a cool kit here as well, but I don't think I can even afford very... Oh, fair enough. It's affordable, but by the same token, I don't really want to invest in early game equipment. So the main reason I'm in this cool kit is just to get the conversation topic for outdoor holidays. You'd think after all these conversation topics I picked up, I'd actually be able to recruit a fair amount of players from PAL packing, but that's still not the case. It's still ridiculously difficult. But up here is the hospital, and we were required to go to the hospital a lot in Inazuma 11 Go Light and Shadow, but you're not really required to go here at all in Chrono Stones as far as I can remember. But I still want to explore it a little bit, just because there's still some story-ish, relevant-ish characters in there, certainly relevant to the last game. And I'm fairly sure you can work out who they're going to be as well. There is a PAL packing society where we can get some nurse-like players, but I'm not even close to the requirements. If we head up to the second floor, then we can see 2 main characters. One, of course, is Vladimir, after we've restored the timeline and put him back in a wheelchair. Say hello to your brother, Victor. He's right there. Say hello. Okay, he didn't. Is there a treasure chest in this area? Well, there was in the last game, but not anymore. But the main reason I'm here, aside from Vladimir, actually put it off because you can take a picture of, well, you can grab this item, which is an isotonic drink that suddenly didn't feel worth it. But conversation topic, that'll make it worthwhile. The main reason I'm here is to see Mark Evans' wife from Inazuma 11 Go Shadow, Camellia Travis, or Camellia Evans in that case, who is actually talking about the football ban, so she's got context-relevant dialogue. Unfortunately, she doesn't really have a story role in this game, and neither does Mark's wife from Inazuma 11 Go Light, Nellie Evans, or Nellie Ryman. And the reason for that is, there's no way that the people making this game could have known which version of Go Light you played previously. They didn't exactly do a Pokemon Black and White 2 where you linked with the previous game to fix all that stuff. What I'm trying to say is that it would be weird if you played Go Light and Mark was married to Nelly, and then you played Inazuma 11 Go Chrono Stones Wildfire, for example, and then he was just married to Cammy instead. So they just kind of dodge the issue here. By the way, get this treasure chest. FP boost is a great special move. Well, a skill that you can have on your players if you want a little bit more FP, especially useful in the early stages of the game as well. We've got it at just the right time as we go for a quick look around Riccardo's house. Not mansion, I should say. But yeah, I'm sure Mark does have some kind of wife in the story. He's not divorced anyone exactly. But yeah, it would be weird for them to try and address his wife by name, so they just dodge it altogether, unfortunately. That's just the way it had to be. You can't take a photo of Riccardo's piano anymore, and generally there's not much in his mansion in terms of reason to come here, but on the 3rd floor there is one useful item. Aside from how beautiful the mansion is, I like looking around it. The reason you want to come here is to go up to the 3rd floor. There's a gold treasure chest which we can't open until the post game. Most importantly, we can open this one and get a move manual for Fortissimo Foot, Riccardo de Rigo's signature shooting move, which is a great move and would be highly beneficial to have on your team as long as you're willing to have shared moves across different players. Which I'm not, so I'm not going to use it, but objectively, Fortissimo Foot is a very good move. So if you want it, the option's available to you. Now I'm going to skip travel back to the main area of the shopping area. We've even added Dorigo residence to the main map, so once again I think it's definitely worth going there just for a bit of sightseeing, even though it's not actually plot relevant. The plot relevant area is down here in the shopping area outskirts, which will lead to Inazuma Tower. And the random battles here can give you a little bit of difficulty if you're not trying to use fighting spirits and Miximax on them. Let's take them on properly. I was going to try and use Phase Miximax actually, because he hasn't been required to use it since the actual beginning of the game. They've basically just forgotten it ever existed, but no, I wasn't prepared for that kind of formation. Let's see, because we've been talking about Fortissimo Foot, perhaps he would like to show off this move. Because if you want to use that item in Riccardo's house, then you will have access to a 45 power wood move on shooting. Very, very good, very, very useful. Also, one other thing they've changed about random battles. Yeah, you can skip the goalkeeper animation now. I really appreciate that, because you used to be able to skip shooting move animations to save a bit of time in random battles, but you could never skip the goalkeeper animation until Chrono Stones, and genuinely, it saves so much time. I'm really glad they finally added that in. But regardless, we'll get the conversation topic of the frog trick. Don't ask me to tell you what the frog trick is actually all about. Let's go through a long-winded explanation telling Axel Blaze about time travel and stuff. There's the tower, but where's Coach Blaze? I don't know, mate, just move even more than one screen in this area and have a look around, find him for yourself. There's not especially much you can pick up in terms of items here, but the story of the Inazuma Trout continues. Apparently someone finally managed to catch it. You can take a picture of the tourist signboard, get into some more random encounters, get some level ups in the process, speak to the old man, and of course, check the inner link, because finally we can see what inner pics actually look like. Now, Rosie Red has drawn this emote of Arian all by herself, which just adds to the fact that they've really, really improved this character. In Inazuma 11 Go Light, she was almost completely pointless. She was just there to be the third manager, and that was it. She didn't do anything other than take pictures of Riccardo. But now she's a talented artist who helps out on the inner link, and she understands time travel, a big sci-fi fan. She's honestly been the most useful manager so far, and I just love the improvements that they made to the character. And speaking of improvements to characters, Axel Blaze is actually going to be a good guy in this game with a new hairstyle, instead of being the Emperor of 5th Sector and such. So let's climb up this ladder and have a word with him. Long time no see. We found you. I thought there might have been more of you.
This is it, unfortunately.
So be it. We'll have to work with what we have. I want to help you save Mark.
How did you know? I can't let El Dorado meddle with history any further. You know about El Dorado?
That's right. And I know about you, Faye, and the TM bus.
Zounds! How come you aren't affected by the interrupt?
Perhaps it's because of this bracelet.
That's a time band.
Oh-ho! A time band shields you from the effects of time interrupts. That's why he's been unaffected by all these time paradoxes.
What? He's back again.
Dr. Cryptix. Indeed. And just where did you get that exactly? It was sent to me by the Benefactor, along with a rather curious message.
The Benefactor? Who's that?
While I was the Holy Emperor of 5th Sector, Giant Cinquedea received a vast amount of support from someone called Benefactor X. It was all in the name of tracking down children with next-generation powers, officially termed hyper-evolved children.
The hyper-evolved children?
Arian himself was even being investigated as a potential next-generation child.
Me?
But no one knows who or where the Benefactor is. They didn't permit any face-to-face contact whatsoever. But then, about a month ago, I was sent this band along with a message. It said to wear the band at all times because it would help me save football, but it didn't go into detail.
Save football? So this Benefactor is someone who wants to help football too?
I'm not sure, but shortly after that, all this happened. Arian, I've been able to view video recordings of your recent battle against Protocol Omega using this time band. That's why I came here to help you. Most fascinating! Getting hold of a time band in our time period would be a proverbial piece of cake. I think it's highly probable that our mystery benefactor is someone from the future like us.
But why would they be doing this? And how is the Benefactor connected to these hyper-evolved children?
Yes, perplexing, isn't it? In any case, your primary concern for now should be to defeat Protocol Omega 2.0 and save Mark Evans. There is still one place left where you'll be free to play football. You should go there to practice.
There is? Where?
Sanctum.
Sanctum?
The intensive training facility where 5th Sector took gifted children and turned them into superior players. After the Saints Way final, I closed Sanctum. If you go there, you should be able to train undisturbed.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
I'll continue working to save Mark. If you think I can be of help, don't hesitate to contact me.
Thank you very much, Coach Blaze. We'd better be going then. Goodbye. And so that means we can go to Sanctum, which was only accessible in the post-game of Inazuma 11 Go Light and Shadow, but now it's available just in the normal process of the game. It is where we took on Eternal Light and Ancient Darkness in the version-exclusive super bosses of those games. But now, yeah, it's just an area that you go to, and that's it basically. But we will go there to train and try to armorify our fighting spirits. But the main thing I want to talk about there is the Benefactor X, because he seems to want to help save football based on what he said to Axel Blaze, but also he funded 5th Sector. That seems like very much the opposite. But I'm still really, really glad they chucked in that line of dialogue, because it clears up a massive plot hole from the last game. Not necessarily a plot hole, but just a big question that I always had. I thought, okay, the entire motive of Giant Cinquedea in the last game was that he was so poor, he couldn't even afford a single football, and he wanted to grant equal opportunities to football players around the country, no matter how much money they had. Which is a nice enough motive, but at the same time, 5th Sector had endless money. They controlled the footballing world. So I was just left thinking, how did someone so poor manage to found 5th Sector? And now we know. He got his funding from Benefactor X, or at least did for the most part.
Why he'd want a fun 5th sector, I don't know. But we're going to head to Sanctum now. Don't worry, there's no level 60 Eternal Light and Ancient Darkness this time. We're just going there to train right now. We can use the TM bus's warp function to fly us directly to Sanctum.
Wow, so it can move through time and space. This bus is proper useful. So this is Sanctum. It hasn't changed at all.
Sanctum Stadium's up ahead on the far side of the island. Let's train there so we can learn how to armorify. Dr. Cryptix, would you happen to have any tips for us? For armorifying? Well...
Go on.
Frankly, I haven't a clue.
Oh.
My field of expertise is in space-time theory. I'm afraid I know very little about football, and that goes for armorifying too. Well, we'll just have to put our hearts and souls into practice, won't we? Perspiration and inspiration and whatnot.
Exactly.
Huh? Where's Dr. Cryptix? He said he was off to compile his research.
Mad scientists, what can you do, eh?
Alright, so here we are at Sanctum. Feels so strange to be in a post-game area within the main story now of the game, but I don't know why they're talking about the air in Sanctum in an interlink topic titled Bacon Butties in the Canteen. They couldn't be bothered to make a new topic for it, but nevertheless, this is where I'm going to call off the episode. We've arrived at Sanctum, and in the next episode I want to give it thorough explanation. Once again, don't worry, no level 60 teams, no version exclusive content. It's not like the last time we were here in the previous Let's Play. And Victor is getting accused of having an anime towel. This is why I want to leave Interlink running. Nevertheless, I'm going to keep the conversations on this thing flowing as we move to the end slate. But see you in the next episode for a full exploration of Sanctum. TTFN. And, you know, Wonderbot seems to think that the managers are capable of acrobatic skills and leaping into the air, and yeah, they're not cheerleaders, buddy. See you in the next one.